Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 29th of April. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and it does look like it might yet push up, having recovered this morning. Yesterday, all it really went back down to is its weekly pivot, and it's been sort of dancing around there. It's looking. As I say, looking a little bit brighter at the moment, but choppy. Solid old day yesterday in the morning, and then a solid sell in the afternoon that's followed through. And it hasn't put any lower highs in as such yet, confirmed. And at the moment, it looks like it could be on for that 4-hourly 200 as we're speaking, maybe more. Certainly from an hourly point of view, I'm looking here, actually it's 30 minutes, not an hourly. Let me just switch that. There is a bit of divergence on the 30 minute actually, now I saw that, but the hourly it's fine. Hourly points, I was just looking at the R1 potential above. We'll see how this rolls this morning, but to be on the bearish side, a break of the daily pivot really would see me move towards the bearish side, but at the moment it's remaining there on that bullish side. More confirmed lower high would come in on the break of the last night's lows there really. So that's where we're sitting with the euro. The pound, the pound is still pointing upwards on the dailies at this stage, still moving in that sort of direction. Okay, funny old day yesterday, pulled back to the trend. It sort of just moved a little way away from it, moved back to it, pushing back, maybe moving back towards that trend as I'm talking, that sort of trend line that's running across the lows there. It's not too far off it now. The 50 MA 60 minute 50 is probably a good guide to that. Again, no divergence here on the 60 minute. I think there might be actually on the 30 minute looking at this. A bit of divergence sitting across there. Yep, there was extreme earlier on, it's pushed up. There is a bit of divergence on the sort of lower time frame, 60 minutes fine, but just like the euro, there is that divergence sitting there. And as I say, rolling at the moment on the pound and looking softer. Dollar yen, bit of a star yesterday in terms of price action, in terms of it continued its route mostly. Bit of a retrace, but not so significant there. And it's currently still remains lower highs, lower lows on this 4-hourly clear, setting there. Bit for consolidation where we're sitting here again. Maybe we'll just see yet another breakdown from that, but it does look like it may have further downside with the pattern it's putting in there. It's a very stepped approach. We used to see this sort of approach in stocks where you'd get this sort of consolidation and then another step down, but don't really see it so frequently in currencies quite as clearly pronounced as that. Aussie dollar, looking, this is one of the more bullish currencies out there, and you see yesterday just continued in that vein. Not so easy necessarily to get a bite or a leg on the step here. It's that said, it is stepping the process a little bit. There may have been a bit of divergence yesterday, but then pushed up into a new high. As it sits at the moment, a retracement for me on the Aussie dollar may see me trying to get in there to buy more possibly as a bit of a swing, but because it's so slow at times, it can spend a day, 2/3 of the day almost sitting there sideways, but it has been stepping up, particularly through the Asian session. It may push up this morning. I'll keep an eye on that. Canadian dollar, as I always say, it's not really a day trading currency for me, but it's a swing wise. It's continued in its downward trend there. Canadian dollar. Reasonably well actually, lower highs, lower lows, bit like the Aussie dollar really in terms of some of the price action that's sort of been sitting in between here. As I say, it does look like there might be more continuation in that as we push through. Okay, Canadian dollar. Let's just have a quick look at oil. If I can, be good. There we go. Press the right button and we'll get it. So oil, yesterday it just pushed down a little bit more. I do see that there is a big the USO. It's a big fund, a US fund that's been reducing its near-term positions in futures contracts, and it may be not helping this too well at the moment. But looking at shorter term here, it picked up late last night, maybe picking up a little bit now. Pushing through. I say it's just afternoon. It's sort of putting a low there, or higher low confirmed a little bit later there, and maybe pushing in there. I still think it's a bit early for the main moves, and I get a feeling from the analysis I've been doing on it over the last few days that there is reasoning why it might still take another roll to the downside yet. We'll see. Okay, that's oil. S&Ps. So S&Ps, started the morning brighter. Yesterday so it's just come down the time frames, and look at this movement that you can see there. It sort of dipped up there. I keep on talking about this. I mean, longer term I'm bearish on this, but at the moment, high lows, high highs through there. This is a bit of a deciding factor now. We've pushed beyond the prior highs that I was talking about yesterday. It's pushed on through that, started selling off, and then pitched back towards that. It's messy where it sits at the moment here for sure, but short term it may look like it's still got some more. It looks like there's probably divergence again across these near term highs there, so just have a look on there. It's not really too much of anything, but okay, maybe it's still got further upside on this. It was a sort of almost a Gartley pattern here, but it's taken the low out at the bottom here, which has spoilt that pattern, and which a Gartley pattern would have been more of a bearish pattern. This is less of a bearish pattern, I'm afraid, and looks more bullish at the moment. So there we are. Okay, but I am expecting some sort of rollover at some point, but maybe not quite yet. Right, that's the S&Ps. Right, so that's pretty much it. I wish you a great day. News-wise, news. We've already had the Australian data out, so there's the US data out 1:30 this afternoon, advanced GDP. So there's commentators suggesting that this is really going to move the market. I don't think so somehow, but GDP expected to come in at -4%. Is the forecast. It could come in lower, of course, with such a large shutdown there in the US. But we do have the FOMC statement and press conference, etc. this afternoon, later this evening. There's not an expectation that any further cuts will be made in terms of interest rates, but you never know. They've still got room to go to 0% or even go negative, but it's what other support that may be offered. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.